Hey guys, it's John from Second Wind Cycles. We've teased this project before on the channel. We announced it at World of Wheels, and now we're finally ready to get started on it. This is going to be the YouTube-inspired dual sport, adventure bike, scrambler. I don't care what you guys call it. It just seems like everybody's got their own opinion on what it is. And I'm going to call it the YouTube-inspired dual sport. Okay, so why did I decide to do this? The reason I decided to do this is I was looking at adventure bikes. I ended up buying the V-Strom. I actually have BJ's from Brickhouse Builds, his V-Strom. And it was cool. I bought it used, obviously. But the adventure bikes, I really wanted to get into that class, but it was so expensive to get into what I wanted. You could pick up like a lightweight one, like a KTM 390, which is really a cool bike. It's a very good quality bike. Those are going to run you anywhere from like $6 to $8 grand. But all my friends kept telling me I was too fat for that bike. So I'm like, all right. So I ended up getting the V-Strom. It was a 650. When you get into that class, you're looking at like anywhere from like $10,000 to $14,000. Again, it's not a whole lot of money, but for somebody starting out or, a young kid or something, that's a lot of cash. Now when you get up to like the, what is that? The Honda Africa. I think it's a Honda African Twin, American Twin, African Twin. Those are 1,000 cc's and up, and those are really, really nice bikes. But you're talking anywhere from 15 to like everything at the high end, almost 30 grand for that stuff. And that's just up here. My bike sits 6 months, 7 months out of the year because of the weather. So for 5 months, it just wasn't worth it for me. So I'm like, you know what? I want to build an adventure bike. And that's when I started looking at all these other channels. I saw all these cool ideas and I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. And that's what we're going to do. Why am I calling it a dual sport? An enduro is another one. That was another term that came up. They all seem like the same to me. So please, in the comments or whatever, correct me what's what. Because every time I look up a scrambler, kind of fits an adventure bike build. Adventure bike build kind of fits an enduro build. An enduro build fits a dual sport build. So that's what we're going with. Why did I pick the CX500C? Real easy. All three of these guys have made CX500 adventure bikes or scrambler. So it's kind of a no-brainer on that one. The other thing is these engines, these CX500 engines are bulletproof. These are actually sometimes called the poor man's Moto Guzzi's because Moto Guzzi's will run, they're like the BMWs, they'll run forever. These also have a lot of low-end torque. You want a low-end torque, a lot of low-end torque on the adventure bikes, which the V-Strom I had, that torque was crazy. That was an awesome bike. I just sold it. The reason I sold it was two reasons. One, I needed the room, and two, I was having so much fun on it. I knew I would never make this if I still had that one sitting there. So I had to get rid of it just so I could get started on this. And I sold it 2 weeks ago. Here we are. CX500s. CX500s are shaft drive. So there's no chain maintenance. You have no chance of a chain snapping on you on a trail. Thumbs up. The CX500 also comes with a 19-inch front wheel, which gives you like a huge variety of tires you can pick for it. You can do knobby, street. We're keeping the street ones. Craig and actually all three of them, Craig, BJ, and Dan all put knobby tires on theirs. I'm more of a street guy. I like to go fast. So obviously I'm going to keep the street one like this, even though I'm giving this one anyway, but we're definitely going to ride it before we get rid of it. So that's where we are with that. We're going to go to my other notes and we're going to figure out what makes an adventure bike an adventure bike.
A few moments later.
So instead of being fancy and putting it up behind you where you can't see it, I'm just going to read the notes off of what's going to make this thing an adventure bike. Engines, anywhere from 500cc to 1300cc. Well, the KTMs are 390s, and those are adventure bikes, but we got 497. We're going to round up to 500cc's. We're good. Upright seating position. Well, we're going to redo this seat, but we're going to be sitting up, so we're good to go. Long travel suspension. We're going to redo the rear shocks, so they're up a lot higher. We're not going to touch the front of this, but we are going to redo some. Actually, no, we're not redoing the forks because these have new forks. We're not doing any of that. High ground clearance. We're good. Extended fuel range. I'm not 100% convinced I'm going to keep this tank. I might change this tank out to something else. I've got a couple tanks I actually bought for this bike. One is a peanut tank that I didn't realize it, so that one's not going on here. Luggage capacity. We're actually going to fabricate some stuff to go on the back of this thing. And also, if you look at our website, there's a link down below that says Viking bags. Give it a click. Viking Bags actually donated some bags for this bike, and we're going to put it on here, and that's going to go with the bike too. It's really good quality stuff. I'll have to bring it out, and once we do this, I'll bring it out and show you guys. But they did that was really cool of them. What else do we have? Off-road features, durable wheels and tires. Well, we got new tires. They're pretty durable. It's a metal rim. I think we'll be okay. Protective components, skid plates, crash bars, and engine guards. I have crash bars. We're going to fabricate a skid plate. We're actually going to steal BJ's idea and do that one. And engine guards, I think I bought them for this bike, but I'm not 100% sure. I've been buying this stuff since last year, so I have to look. Switchable ABS anti-lock braking system. Most of the adventure bikes have that now. Nope, not going to be on this bike. All right, now we're going to go through who are we stealing this stuff from. Let me grab my little trusty Who's Your Daddy here. So we've got a donor bike. It's a YouTube-inspired adventure dual sport scrambler build. Pick whatever you want. Donor bike is a 1980 CX500C. We already went over that. 17,738 miles are on this bike. Doesn't really matter because we're going to redo the speedo and all that stuff. It runs, it drives, it stops. Those are good qualities. I threw a $3,000 budget on this thing. I don't see spending anywhere near $3,000 getting this thing up, getting this thing going unless something drastic happens because it already runs. It's already got new tires. All the expensive stuff is already pretty much done on it. I'll have to separate what I've already bought. We are doing the NWT cyclotronics on it, the whole system. So I know that was like $300 or $400. That's right out the window there. But let's go over what we're doing here. Front end. Craig, Dan, or BJ's. I think Craig 100% nailed it with an adventure bike front end. And I'm not even going to go over these other two because they're really good. BJ did a great job, so did Dan, but Craig 100% knocked that one out of the park. He's got the LED front end on it. I know he talked about doing the two side things on the crash. Did he ever finish that bike? Side lights on the crash bars. I don't know if he ever did it. But Craig nailed it. That's the one we're going with. Rear end. All three of them pretty much did the same rear end as far as shocks go. I think Craig used a cheaper version of that. And I know Dan and BJ did YSS shocks. But BJ did it to match the bike. Dan did it to not match the bike. I like stuff to match. Somewhat. BJ, you win that one. Fabrication. Craig really didn't do any fabrication on his bike. Dan and BJ, that's a tough call because both of them have their own styles. They both do great quality work. We're going to steal from both of them, actually. So that one's a tie. Well, not a three-way tie, but it's a tie. Seat. One seat. We're going to do one seat on this thing. Craig never did a seat. Dan and BJ both did seats on their bikes. BJ did one, and I actually was at a shop when I saw it. He incorporated a lot of cool stuff from a canvas bag. That was super cool, but I really like the way Dan does his seats with the, we've done them too with the, I actually learned from him. The molded seat pan, the clips, we do sell the clips on our website. So that's how much I was impressed with that. We actually sell the clips on the website for the seats. And the foam, the way he does the foam. I don't do the upholstery. I'm going to send the upholstery out. I've got a buddy of mine who does upholstery. Dan wins. Seats. 100%. Electronics. Craig was going to keep the originals, if I remember correctly. Dan and BJ both do NWT Cycletronics. BJ, in my opinion, has a lot more experience than Dan does on that, and I could be totally wrong, and I don't want Dan to be mad at me, but I believe from watching the videos, it seems like BJ's just been doing it a lot more, or maybe has done it a lot more. I know I did reach out to Dan for another project I'm working on as a BMW, and he was very helpful with it, and he shot me in the right direction to another guy who does nothing but BMWs. Guy was totally cool about it. Dan's a solid dude. But I'm going to give this one to BJ because BJ, I learned more from BJ's videos than I did from Dan. That's really the only reason I'm picking that. Paint. Craig never painted his. He's out. Dan and BJ. Dan does some really cool custom paint on his bikes. And I've seen a lot of that stuff. BJ does a lot of his as well. I love the adventure bike that he did. It was a Park Ranger bike with the Cummins Grays. I actually stole that look for a customer's bike. We're doing a Desert Storm CB750. But the tins that Dan does, a lot of his stuff for the cafe racers. He's more of a cafe racer guy, it seems like. That's the other thing I was really hoping Craig had a lot of, he's an off-road dude. I mean, you could see his shop, you see his shop and there's like maybe 5 street bikes and 100 dirt bikes. So I mean, he's an off-road guy and that's cool. That's why I was kind of pulling from his a little bit more. That's why I know his just screamed, off-road. Paint-wise though, oh God, it's so tough. I'm probably going to give this one to Dan. It's really a coin flip because they both do really good stuff. As far as a scrambler goes, though, maybe you don't want that really nice paint job, and maybe that's why BJ gets bumped. I don't know. That's the only reason I pick it. Overall build, and this is where I'm going to come back, and you're going to be like, "Oh, you're totally contradicting yourself." Craig never did it. He never finished it, so he's out. Dan and BJ, they both did really, really nice scramblers. And I'm going to call them scramblers because that's what they listed them as. But Craig pulled his off as he was copying BJ's. Yeah, I think his was better. So BJ wins basically this meaningless checklist. But we're going to keep going through all this stuff. We are going to start tearing this one down probably next week sometime. We're coming up on 4th of July weekend, so I don't know how much we're going to get done. On the flip side of that, I've also got 5 days off. We're going to shut the construction business down for 5 days, so might actually get pretty good headwind on what we're doing here. So I don't want you guys thinking I'm bagging on Craig for not finishing up his bike. I know a lot of guys have been taking some heat on that lately in the comments, so that's not fair. He's got a lot of shit going on, and these bikes are more to get people to the channel, but it's also, he's got a lot of stuff going on. So, but the reason I know he didn't, and I was talking about how he didn't finish his bike and he has some stuff he didn't do, and the reason I know he didn't do that, because that bike's in my shop.
There's 2 of them.
That's right.
That man's an imposter. That man is the imposter.
What? we got the bike from the bearded mechanic himself. The one that started that this whole adventure bike series we got. So I ended up seeing that on a complete fluke. I will show you the video here right now on how I got this bike. So yeah, this is what happens when you go out drinking with your buddies on a Friday night. You wake up either kind of half in the bag or really hungover on a Saturday morning and thinking about stuff for the channel, and you go, hey, this seems like a good idea. Let's add this to the mix. So I reached out to Craig and I could not get, every time I tried to buy this on his website, it was not allowing me to buy it. So I emailed him and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to buy your bike. We had talked about it. He knew who, he kind of, well, he probably didn't remember who I was, but I emailed him and I told him that I cannot get this buy button to work. It is just not working. And in true Craig fashion, stand-up guy he is, within 5 minutes I had a response. Hey dude, sorry, it's working now. Buy it. So I bought it right away. No questions asked. And I got a follow-up email the next day. Set up the shipping. What this bike cost me is just in tires. And Craig, being the nice guy he is, gave me 2 boxes of parts to go with it that he paid for. So Craig, thanks a lot. We're going to get this one over the finish line. And we're going to get this thing on the road and have some fun with it. When it's done, you are more than welcome to come down and take a ride on it if you want. Now, you guys might ask, since we are putting one up for charity, are you putting both up for charity? And the answer is no, I am not that nice. But in all honesty, I'm more of a street guy. I think this one's the one that's going to go up on the charity auction site. But I'm not sure yet. We'll see. I might ride this thing and absolutely fall in love with it. I fell in love with it as soon as I got off the transport. It cost me triple what I paid for the bike to get this thing transported. Transport fees are ridiculous right now. So if you guys are buying a bike, just factor in transport. I think it was $850 to get this thing transported. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I almost drove out and got it myself. But that's that, guys. If I don't talk to you guys or hear from you guys, have a great weekend. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Really helps us out, helps everybody out. If you want to go to the website, we do sell the seat clips that we're going to be doing on that. Stickers, shirts, all that fun and creamy goodness.